every day when you're walking down the street.
One show I remember fondly from my childhood that I've never really gotten the chance to talk about on here is Arthur. I'd assume pretty much everyone is familiar with Arthur at this point, considering the show's been running on PBS Kids since 1996, and was based on the Mark Brown books initially published way back in 1976. But we don't talk about Long-Nose Arthur. Despite featuring anthropomorphic characters that, might I add, didn't resemble their animal counterparts in the slightest, Arthur is kind of a slice-of-life type show along the lines of Hey Arnold or Doug. It follows a group of friends in 3rd grade and the various ups, downs, and lessons learned that comes with childhood. I'd say it's my favorite of those types of shows, but maybe that's just nostalgia talking, since I watched a lot of Arthur as a kid. Still will occasionally if I manage to catch one of the older episodes on TV, but it's the holiday season right now, and with that said, I wanted to make sure that I got a holiday-themed video out in time for Christmas. So I decided that right now would be the best time to talk about a wonderful little Christmas special. That's right, it's Arthur's Perfect Christmas.
Ah, Christmas. Only 3 more days until the big day. And this one's gonna be the best one ever.
Arthur's Perfect Christmas initially aired on TV in the US on November 23rd of the year 2000. This was actually 2 months after the special had released on home video on September 12th, but it just makes more sense to watch this around Christmas. This is just one of those specials that really hits all of the right notes for me. To put it bluntly, it's a musical, it's funny, and it has an overall good Christmassy feel to it, with some good morals, just like you'd expect from a PBS Kids show. The special actually focuses on several stories rather than just one. It kind of feels like they took 3 or 4 different episodes of Arthur and just kind of merged them into 1 hour-long movie. Arthur's story revolves around him wanting the perfect Christmas, hence the title. His list of demands includes snow, a traditional turkey dinner, a beautiful Christmas tree, and the perfect gifts for his family, which of course leads to various National Lampoon hijinks, but we'll get to that in a bit. Might I add, the songs in the special are just excellent.
Christmas will be magical, just like in a fairy tale. I want so much snow that I'll use my toes to pick up the morning mail.
Although I don't know who they're fooling with this song, because that is not Arthur. For any scenes that don't involve singing, Arthur is voiced by Michael Yarmush, aka the original voice of Arthur. You can tell he's gotten a bit too old for the role here, which had been the case for a while at this point in time, but I always kind of liked that raspier voice for Arthur, but I understand why they would recast.
Wow, that's perfect for Dad.
When it comes to the other characters, there's an ongoing story revolving around Buster's mom feeling stressed out around the holidays and always waking up too early, mistaking each morning for Christmas. And then there's the story revolving around Francine and Muffy, with Muffy inviting Francine to a big Christmas party, but Francine is too busy to attend because, being Jewish, she's too busy spending the holidays celebrating Hanukkah with her family. Now, going back to Buster for just a second, I sometimes forget that Buster's parents are divorced, but what I've always liked about Arthur is the way that they'll sometimes bring it up without really sugarcoating it in any way.
I think she just gets really nervous that I won't have a good Christmas because my dad's not with us.
That's too bad.
Attention everyone, Buster's parents are divorced.
Which is one of those things that I've always really loved about Arthur, the way it uses its kind of slice of life style to tackle topics that most other educational children's programming would probably shy away from. Another great example from this special is with Muffy and Francine's story. The special makes sure to mention the other holidays that people of different beliefs and religions celebrate around this time of year. There's a nice scene later in this movie where Brain briefly mentions that his family celebrates Kwanzaa, and it's little insightful moments like that that not only make this special feel so informative and accepting, but teaches us more about the characters themselves.
You can't just invent a holiday, Arthur.
Well, sure you can. My family celebrates Kwanzaa, and that was invented for African Americans by Dr. Maulana Karenga in 1966.
Racist voice actors aside, it really holds true to the reoccurring themes of Arthur that I feel are plainly laid out in the opening song by Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers.
Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Learn to
So moving back over to Arthur's story, a big part of it revolves around him looking for the perfect gift for his parents, one of which includes a glass bird for his mom that looks exactly like the one that he broke the summer before. He also gets his dad an olive depitter.
Stick an olive in, and out pops the pit.
While this is going on, DW is busy making her own Christmas list, which includes the highly popular toy Tina the Talking Tabby, accompanied by an extraordinarily catchy tune.
Always at your feet and is really, really sweet. It's Tina the Talking Tabby.
DW, as usual, is such a little shit here. I know some people hate DW for that very reason, but I've always found her to be pretty funny.
There are a lot of children wishing for the same thing, and
it's because Arthur wrote my letter all wrong, isn't it? Boy, if you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself.
There's kind of this more mean-spirited nature that Arthur would occasionally delve into that I've always appreciated. It was just very noticeable compared to other PBS Kids shows, which felt so safe. Fortunately, the show always knew just how much was too much and exactly when to hold back. Jane, who is Mrs. Reed, shops for her children's gifts at the same mall as Arthur, and manages to get most of DW's presents, but there's just one missing. Can you guess which one? You've gotta appreciate Arthur's dedication to avoiding that song. What a madman. The rest of Arthur's story revolves around the things he wanted for Christmas not going exactly as planned. His dad plans a Christmas meal that's based on food that the people of Bethlehem would have ate back in the time of Jesus' birth.
Hey Arthur, want my camel?
Ew. No thanks.
DW decorates the tree with ponies and troll dolls, and Arthur just ain't having it.
It doesn't look like a real Christmas tree.
what did you have in mind?
Well, you know, a traditional tree with gold and silver balls and popcorn. Not unicorns?
I'm sorry you can't have your more conservative Christmas, Arthur. While all of this is going on, Buster is tired from dealing with his mom waking him up every day. Brain and Arthur inform Buster that he doesn't have to celebrate Christmas the same way that everyone else does. Instead, they suggest the idea of Baxter Day, a holiday where Buster and his mom can do whatever they'd like.
'Cause it's Baxter Day. Oh yes, it's Baxter Day. Stop whatever you're doing, let me hear you say, today is Baxter Day.
Francine doesn't show to Muffy's Christmas party as expected, which results in the two of them having a falling out.
Besides, it's not like Hanukkah is as important as Christmas. Well, it is to me.
Can we just talk about how Muffy is the absolute worst? I know she's always been a rich snob, but breaking up a relationship with a friend just because they're Jewish has gotta be a new low, even for her.
I don't need makeup. I'm already beautiful. But Francine doesn't have any, and she sure could use some.
There are some fun running gags throughout the special, one of which involves Binky giving a hand at baking and being absolutely terrible at it.
Well, what are you waiting for? Aren't you gonna try it?
Ew. Did you peel the bananas?
When the person tasting your food doesn't even have the decency to pretend it's good, you know the kitchen's not for you.
Is this a joke? I mean, this is MasterChef Canada. And you give me this?
Also, I just want to mention Mr. Ratburn makes these kids write a 5-page essay during their vacation. Just the absolute worst.
Instead, you can write a 5-page essay describing what you did over the holidays. Class dismissed.
Christmas morning comes, Buster wakes up his mother so she can burn the pancakes and give him an awesome fish-themed action figure. I've actually always loved the fictional toys within the world of Arthur, whether it be Woogles or Cyber Toys. They were always so cool to me as a kid. Bitsy, who is Buster's mom, takes them to a fancy restaurant, and their story concludes with Buster informing her that she doesn't have to take the holidays so seriously, with them agreeing on the name of Baxter Day. Muffy and Francine's story ends with Muffy deciding to visit Francine in her apartment and getting a taste of what the holidays are like for people who celebrate Hanukkah. It's a nice little moment that further cements the idea that everyone has their own way of celebrating the holidays, and that's perfectly fine. I saved the finale of Arthur's story for last, as his gets the most focus in this special. The night before Christmas, Arthur's Uncle Fred, who happens to be a huge klutz, is on his way to Florida when his car breaks down, and he realizes he'll be spending the Christmas with them. Uncle Fred is actually a pretty endearing character, and I feel he adds a lot to the family aspect of this Christmas special. The morning of Christmas, Arthur is reaching for his glass bird when it takes a shelf dive and completely shatters. Arthur is devastated over this, thinking his mother and the rest of his family will hate him for making the same mistake twice.
Twice? I can understand breaking my bird once, but twice?
Dear, I hate to tell you this, but he's inherited the clumsy gene.
He's even worse than me.
Fortunately, it's Uncle Fred who comes to the rescue, cheering him up and telling Jane the tea set he purchased was a gift from Arthur. Also, what's with all the pictures of the school principal, Mr. Haney, in their house? I was wondering that through the whole special. And what about DW? How does her story end?
I wanted Tina the Talking Tabby! I wanted Tina the Talking Tabby!
Moments like this is what Christmas is all about. DW ends up actually liking the duck. Arthur greatly enjoys their Christmas dinner, and it even starts to snow at the end. And as it turns out, Arthur's not so perfect Christmas truly was a perfect Christmas after all.
But after today, I just have to say, this was the best Christmas yet.
I really love this special. It's very close to Christmases I've experienced in the past, with a major focus on the expectations of the holiday versus what really happens, and how, somehow, at the end of the day, it all turns out alright. And once again, I really love the decision to focus not just on Christmas, but also Hanukkah with Francine. I think it's important kids learn about other cultures and religions, and I have huge respect for any kids show that doesn't shy away from those topics. If you are a fan of Arthur, chances are you're already quite familiar with this special, but if not, I'd say give this a watch sometime. It truly is a perfect Christmas special, and one that never gets old. Thank you to everyone who watched. I hope you have a wonderful kind of day and a very merry holiday season. Goodbye.